This video is sponsored by Kershaw, Next Level Pocket Knives. Use discount code 20archery23 for 20% off at kershawknives.com. Hey Archery Talk, this is Lucas, and today I want to talk about the Vantage Point Archery Omega single-bevel broadheads. They sent me these, I don't know, a couple months back, and I haven't had much of a chance to get into them until now. And I kind of wanted to share my experiences with you. Now this is a single-bevel broadhead, which have proved pretty popular in recent years. Mostly because, you know, they're very durable, they can get through most anything. The issue people tend to have is that they're hard to sharpen, and VPA has said they have eliminated that issue with this kind of lay-flat sharpening system. So basically you kind of lay it flat right on the bevel, on your sharpening stone, your sandpaper, whatever you're gonna use, and you can work the edge that way. Don't really have to think much about it. I'm gonna test that theory myself tonight. I am not an expert freehand sharpener. I have a fairly good knife collection myself. I really like sharpening knives, but I use a system. I'll use a Lansky or some other similar system. I don't do a lot of freehand sharpening on stone, so I'm going to put that to the test tonight. It's not my favorite thing to do on that particular method, but let's see if it's good. Because out of the box, not super sharp, nor are they supposed to be. They're supposed to be kind of, every time you use these things, you give them a little touch up, and if you're going to go hunting, you want to get them as razor sharp as you can. So we're going to test and see how sharp we can get them. So I'm going to get started sharpening with some 150 grit kind of metal grade sandpaper. It's designed to cut to sharpen or work on metal to smooth it out. And then I'm going to work my way over to a 600 grit stone, and then I'll probably move to the strop. I've got a 1000 grit stone here. I'm not sure I'm going to use that. That's really something I save specifically for like my my kitchen knives that I want to get super slicey. But we'll see if we need it for this. We're going to give it a try and see how sharp an edge we can put on these VPA Omega single bevel broadheads. So here is the finished product. Again, after we use that 150 grit sandpaper, a 600 grit stone, and a 1000 grit stone, and finally finishing it on the strop to get the edge that I wanted to get. This took, all told, maybe about 10 minutes or so. I think you could do it a little bit less as you get comfortable with it. Again, I'm not a super adept at a kind of flat stone sharpening, but this bevel makes it pretty easy. You really just kind of rest this against the surface and then do your back and forth until you can start feeling a burr, and then move to a finer grit, and then until you feel a different burr and move to a finer grit still. And I'm very happy with how it turned out. I wouldn't say it has a mirror finish exactly, but I can definitely see my reflection in it. I shot some video a while ago. I'm going to run that right now so you can see what an unsharpened head looks like. So you can kind of see some of the fine lines on there from the factory. And then finally what the head that I sharpened looks like. And you can kind of see the Archery Talk yellow logo from the shirt kind of in that finish a little bit. Again, not a perfect mirror, but pretty darn good, I gotta say. I'm happy with myself for my limited skill set on hand sharpening like that. I also had a chance to let this fly a little bit. I've been playing here at the shop, and I don't have field points to test this against, so I can't tell you if they're flying with field points, but I can tell you that they're flying consistently, and that's really what I'm looking for in a broadhead, especially if I'm gonna jump up to something that's 200 grains. So yeah, I shot this with put all three on 3 different arrows, and they're all going into the same spot, which is what I'm hoping for. Now that has something to do with a tune on the bow. I was shooting an Elite Omnia, which I've backed down to about 64 pounds, and then kind of I was able to play with the tune, so it's shooting how I want it to shoot. It's not all going in the center, but largely that's probably going to be the guy pulling the string. Yeah, they're shooting great. I'm very happy with how these are performing so far. So I would like to get some 200 grain field points to kind of better test how these things are working, especially at longer distance. I have not shot this over beyond 20 yards yet. I would like to go and see how these shoot at 40 yards or maybe even 50 yards. Although I don't know if I'm shooting a deer at that distance anyway, not me. Your mileage may vary, but it would just be fun to see how they can shoot and see how they're grouping out that far. But at 20 yards, they're grouping great, no complaints whatsoever. So yeah, if you've got any ideas of what you'd like me to do with these broadheads or anything else in the future videos, let me know and I'll try to get to it. Archery Talk, thank you so much for watching. Please do like, share, and subscribe. It helps the channel an awful lot, and we'll see you again soon.